Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Victims and Villains. If you guys are new to this channel, we create content that is mental health through pop culture, and we introduce you to a couple cool flicks along the way. My name is Captain Nostalgia, and today we're going to be completing our coverage of the Final Girl Berlin Film Festival. As I said in the Husera video, there is very limited coverage for this year, and I was not lying when I said that. I watched Husera and a couple of shorts, and I'm here to count down my top 5 favorite shorts from this year's lineup. Alright, so before we begin, I want to give an honorable mention on this one, and it is a short called Swallow. The short film tells the story of a aging actress who is attempting to find out the secrets of staying young, and so she turns to an exclusive culinary club that may or may not be full of cannibals. This movie was just simple, it was effective, and it really honestly almost made the top 5. It's well acted, it's well shot, and the twist at the end really makes it probably one of the better short films I've seen, but I liked a little bit of the 5 I'm getting ready to talk about just a wee bit more. At number 5, I'm going to talk about The Anteroom. This short film basically is about a woman trying to get her and her baby to safe passage to a separate part of the world. It's kind of unclear because the majority of this movie it takes place in a single location. It's really effective in that way, but I think the thing that really makes me put it on this list is the fact that it is a dystopian sci-fi film that I've never quite seen before. I think from that angle, this movie is really effective in that. This movie has no business looking as pretty as it does. I mean, it looks like $1 billion got put into this. Like, when I say that this looks like this could rival some of Hollywood's biggest budget sci-fi films, I mean that in every sense of the word. And it's acted well too. It's really written, it's simple, it's effective, and it doesn't it's 10 minutes. It was great. Number 4. At the number 4 spot, I have a short film called Lychee Moth. I hope I pronounced that right. Basically, this movie tells the story of a up-and-coming music journalist who goes to write a piece on a band and ends up with some pretty weird side effects. I come from the world of music originally, like before I got into film, before I started doing podcasting, music was my calling, and I love short films like this, or movies like this that explore this kind of heavy metal world, and kind of the darkness that can lie in it, and just kind of like really how extreme bands are willing to get in order to kind of get the headline or to get fame, and I think this movie definitely explores that really well. I would love to see a feature-length film on this subject. I think this might be the only film I can say that about on this list. But this movie is primed for a feature. It's acted well, and it really feels atmospheric too. This is one of the things I really enjoyed about this is I've played shows in bars like what this movie takes place in, and I think that I just felt like transformed back into that world. And I just think the director captured that world really well. And as Motionless in White would say, this our protagonist got caught with a bangover. Look, if you know, you know. At number 3, this one's actually special because this one also doubles as an announcement. This is a film called First Blood, and not only is it on this list, but it's also going to be playing at Horrific Hope 2023. This story tells the story of a young girl who gets her period for the first time and actually ends up acquiring a strange addiction following the first period. I feel like in all the years that I've done Victims and Villains, Abyss Gazing, That's High Praise, covered film festivals, covered conventions, I've seen and read a lot of interesting fiction. And First Blood honestly might be one of the boldest pieces of film that I've ever seen. The acting is just fearless, and this movie is just absolutely knows what it wants to do and commits to it and doesn't care how uncomfortable it makes the audience, and I really respect that. And you guys can check it out for yourselves when it streams. And you guys can also check out First Blood when it plays during this year's Horrific Hope. It's a part of the Hold On to Your Lunch block of films. At number 2, we have the body horror film Violet Days. The short film explores two best friends going off and being separated by life as circumstances arise. One friend's just not taking that though, and basically figures out how to do surgery to create Siamese twins. This short film's a little bit slow, but I think it really delivers on the body horror aspect and really kind of just like dropped my jaw by the time this movie ends. I was really surprised by how not necessarily disturbing or graphic, but just how much this film was able to pull off on not only a limited budget, but also at the same time its short runtime. I think it's really successful at what it wants to do and really does demonstrate that some relationships can be a little bit toxic no matter how much you want to ignore it. The acting in this one is really great. The pacing is great across the board, and without a doubt, the body horror definitely delivers some really awesome imagery in this one. And my number 1 pick for this year's Final Girl Film Festival shorts, I'm surprised that this one is my favorite one. It's a movie called Legs. So this movie basically tells the story of a woman who wants to get pregnant, and she ends up getting a spider, eating a spider, and carries it as a human child. Look, this movie, like, after coming out of some of these other films, I was floored by this movie. This movie has to be one of the most wholesome short films I've ever seen. Like imagine Disney and Pixar kind of made a live action film. They still retained a lot of their wholesomeness, but went a little bit weirder. That's the kind of movie you would get here. This movie is funny, it's energetic, and it just has a really great spirit about it, and I really, really loved this one. I think the concept is absolutely just so original and ingenious that I couldn't help but smile throughout the entire thing. Thank you to all the filmmakers of the shorts that I got to see this year for Final Girl Berlin Film Festival. As I said in my Sarah review, I love this film festival. It is probably one of my top 3 things that I look forward to every year. I've seen some really great films from this festival. I've covered, we've made some great content, and I've even at the same time made a few friends along the way, and also at the same time have just been absolutely enthralled with some of the movies that I've seen. But if you guys would like more information about Final Girl Berlin, there are going to be links in the show notes below. It is a great festival. I highly recommend checking it out. And down there as well, you guys will find links to all of our Facebook, all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, so on and so forth. All of our podcasts, more movie reviews like this, and most importantly, that subscribe button. So make sure that you guys hit it, and we'll see you guys next time.